how you would search for somebody's fossilized droppings. Good morning on the trails. Joining Dylan and I today. We're on a new property here, Northwest Ohio. 2023-24 trapping season opened up, so we're going to put some sets in today on this new property, bringing you along. Join us today. We're going to go through some of the things that we're looking for as signs and setting on signs pretty much after canines, red fox, coyotes, raccoon. Pretty much those are our three basics there. We'll get into some muskrat trapping here later in the season, but we're kicking off our 2023-24 trapping season on the trails. Thanks for joining us. All right, welcome back on the trails. Dylan and I are out this new property, getting set up, putting some traps in for our 2023-24 season here. Just basically new property, never been on. It's roughly 84 acres, mostly farm ground. What we have behind us here running is basically a small creek coming in, feeder creek, dumps into our primary river back here to the east. This property basically wraps back, does have a couple finger islands that point out. There's an island back here that we're going to set behind Dylan. These ridges. There's a grass 2-track running back to that point and connecting down to this point. So those two features are going to be our primary targets for canines. We will pick up coon. We're trying to avoid the coon right now this early in the season. This farm does not allow any deer hunting or anything like that on us, so we're not in here, but we are in here to help deer population and the wild turkey population. We're trying to take some of the nesting animals, predators out of the equation here. So just found a couple coyote tracks here. That's been dry for us. I apologize for the wind. Right there's one. You can see the rear heel pad and then the toes coming up. So that's a good shot. That's a good sign. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for as we work our way back in on this property over the next 2 weeks. We'll be putting traps in as we see more sign. We don't want to overkill it, overload it with traps, but we want to cover these basic target areas. So thanks for joining us on the trails. We'll be back.
Yep.
All right, so what we're doing here, we'll get a tag on this trap. So it's ready to go, but we're setting on this little 2-track right here. We got all this tall grass, a bunch of rocks piled up along the bank over here. That wraps all the way around that. Kind of getting back out of the road view here. Setting this 2-track comes down off of a point triangle out here. So we're gonna probably put possibly 3-4 traps just around this triangle out here because it's a primary focal point. So stick with us. We're gonna put a little dirt hole set in right here. We're still working this same triangle. We just left that last set right down there on that little 2-track crossing through this point, this triangle here. So I want to get at least 3 traps on this. We're going to use this stick right here. Basically just make a scent post set. It's going to be a blind set. I'm not going to dig it out like a dirt hole or a step down or anything like that. So I'm just going to do a scent post here. It's out here off of this point coming down this edge and this edge. So anything coming up, southwest winds, northeast winds, northwest winds, we're gonna have some good scent here coming off of this point. So this is a key spot. We did have our tracks back around the corner over there, so I know something's moving down through here. We'll put another one back on the back side of this point here and call this good. But this is gonna be our scent post set here, kind of a blind set. Should be good on that. It's a nice blended set right there on this point. Scent post set, coyote urine, and black gold. That's all we use. So Hoosier Trapper Supply. Pick up your black gold and your Top Dog Predator bait. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, get this well-defined little critter path right here. Raccoon, possum, you know, they're pretty much running this right here. So in between this little 2-track, in between this point that we're setting up, and you see the sign set on it, you'll catch. All right, back on the trail. Dylan's going to get this set put in here. Basically just have this little end broken branch right here, and we're going to put a little step down dirt set here. Have a step down dirt hole. Use peat moss in the bottom of this one and on top of the trap. Once the weather starts getting nasty and we get a little bit more moisture and such, we'll start using our waxed dirt. But right now we're just using peat moss in case we get a little bit of moisture. It's getting cold at night, but not to the point to where we need to worry about traps freezing up just yet. Everything, what do you think of it?
It's good so far. I think you'll pull quite a bit out of it. So
hasn't been trapped in many years from my understanding. So signs out here, and that's what we're setting on. We got a couple trails coming off of this. Give you kind of an overview. Trail over this way, trail coming through here, deer trail going up through there. You can see that's a deer trail, but the little critters are going to use it. Do have a den or some sorts over here, but basically just hitting, coming off this point. Our other traps, that post sets up over there off the point, coming down through here, wrapping basically back around. We'll get all the way back here shortly. Alright, we're going to get us another set put in back here, basically in this funnel point coming off of the river. If anything's running either side, we have that creek coming up this way, dumping into the small river back behind Dylan. So this is just a natural game funnel. There's coon tracks and small game trails running all through this tall grass and such. So anything coming down along these big runs off of the river, it all funnels down right here to this point. So get this one in. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in. I might just put a triangle set in here, flat set. So it's opening weekend. I mean, we're not getting too carried away with everything. We're setting everything in right now. Just trying to get mainly our canine sets in, because yeah, we do want it to cool off. And I mean, the canines are going to move. You know, their movement's going to be slower too. So at this point in the season, so yeah, we need the cold fronts come in, and once they do, we got steel in the ground. That's the main thing. So basically just kind of pre-setting, but you might as well put them in because you never know when something's going to come through and give you that opportunity. So get our trap put together here. We're going to put a duke in on this one. Mostly have set most of our bridgers. Got a couple more bridgers that we're going to set up there on that other island that's out there. And that should get us going. Just wanted to get another swivel point in on this one.
money.
Yeah, I like that one. We're gonna call that our Hoosier set because we're using Hoosier Top Dog, Hoosier Trappers Vixen Elixir, and Hoosier Trappers Black Gold Predator Lure. So we're gonna call that our Hoosier Triangle here in Ohio. Kind of been using a lot of the Hoosier Trapper Supply lures and baits and stuff here. Like them. We're gonna put them to the test. Actually, I think that Predator bait's a couple years old now, because we didn't set much last year. So let's see what it brings. That's going to be kind of our farthest point on this property. Coming back here, like I said, later in the season we'll get into the water and do some of the water trapping. I'm sure I could probably pull a dozen coon off of this in a matter of no time, as there's tracks, trails everywhere back in here. But we're targeting our canines right now. We're hoping for that first cold front to come through here middle of October or November now. So yeah, we'll work our way back up front and go set this island. All right, because of high demand from Xavier's infamous one-liner during the mink video last year, You can't change the world being an idiot. On the Trails t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hats. And on
Check
the front,
that out.
bam, right there on the trails. Find your own trail, boys and girls. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back on the trails. We're going to put in our last couple sets here. We're kind of on this island sitting out in the middle, basically this open field, but we do have the 2-track running right here. It goes back into the south that we placed those traps back there earlier. Coming off of this point with the field changes and having a 2-track here and this peninsula coming out on this little island right here, thicket, runs back up towards the house, which we want to stay away from the houses and things like that, just the residential areas. I think I feel like we're back far enough. We don't have to worry about some of the neighbors' dogs maybe running loose, but if they do get in a foothold, they're going to be held back here for a day, which sucks, but we want to try and avoid it as much as possible. But they won't hurt the dogs, so they'll just hold them overnight for a few hours until we get back out here and check them the next day and let them loose. But we're going to put one on this side. There goes them deer. There goes all your deer that you're supposed to see today. Talk about the third one, fourth one up right there. Alright, we've got a little dirt hole set back with the rocks there on that little pile. Kind of have this little gully it runs down in through here, cut through. Right on the point of this island. Basically just sitting out here, runs up to the back of the property. But I think we did top dog in the hole. Let's see, we went with black gold, red fox gland, and some coyote urine on this one. So that is our number 6 set of the day. And then coming up over here, PVC pipe dream set basically. I got a 90 degree on the top of that. That will hold the bait if we get rain and things like that. Put a 90 degree on that top of that pipe, and our top dog's up in there, so that's going to help. Use Coyote Carnage on here, black gold, top dog like I said in the tube, and coyote urine on it. So kind of a blind set with the pipe set there out on this point. 2-track coming down around this way. There's a big ridge over here. Kind of gives the animals some sense of security with the 2-track running up and around here. Anything coming up this way we're covered, anything coming up that way we're covered. And then heading back to the north with the rest of our sets. So set number 7, we got 7 traps in today on this startup, and we're probably planning on running at least 10 to 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks set on this. Other than that, Dylan, appreciate you coming along.
No problem.
Dylan got a couple sets in here, so he's out on the trap line with me this year. We'll see what the season brings, but we're on the trails, we're getting our exercise, and thanks for joining us. All right, hey, welcome back on the trails. You just got to see Dylan and I went out and put our first sets in the ground for our 2023-24 trapping season in Northwest Ohio. Right now, kind of what we're doing, we're bringing you kind of into the fur room here, where we take care of our furs and board them up and basically skin them, flesh them, get them into this process. So we started some of the mink that we caught last year. We're getting these guys boarded up, and we're getting ready to tan them. We're going to tan them ourselves. So we're in the middle of the salting process right now. I got them kind of on the boards and speed this process of drying them just a little bit, but we will have to rehydrate them and everything like that. Salt just kind of starts killing bacteria, helps the drying process a little bit. So just rubbing some salt into them, helping them dry out. They're a greasy little animal. They don't stink near as bad as what they did when we cleaned them. That was the part that I didn't know if I'd ever want to touch another mink again in my life. But we're going to get these guys salt it up, give them dried out for a couple more days, and then we'll go through this process. So we're going to keep bringing you along as we move forward with the mink process and tanning these out ourselves and catching new fur this year. Getting out there and we're helping that farmer out, control some of the raccoon, keeping them out of his corn and such during the year, but pretty much just a predatory control with the canines, the fox and the coyotes and things like that. So we hope you enjoyed today's episode. Stay with us as we have more footage coming down the road. You're on the trails.